All right. It is 8 o'clock, so I am going to get started on the meeting in a second. Had to get my screen si- situated. Uh, sorry, sorry, I had to gotta pay attention to the who's on, who's in the waiting room. So this is the Pennsylvania Ford Party general meeting for August 2025. It is August 18th, and we're going to get started. Uh, we have our first batch of endorsements, some of whom are on the call. They might all be on the call. And we're here to announce them and give them some time to speak. And I'll let one of our liaisons introduce them in no particular order. We'll start with uh,
How do you say that last name? Guglielmo?
Guglielmo. Nice short Italian last name. So before I begin, I just want to thank everyone for the endorsement. I'm honored and proud to have earned be endorsed by the Forward Party. I think in the nominate in the process, I think it was clear that our values align very well. We want a government that's more accountable, transparent, and representative. And the best way to do that is through electoral reform. And I'm excited to work with you, not just for this election, but for future years to come. So thank you again. I'm incredibly honored to have earned the endorsement.
thank you, and we're proud to be endorsing you. And we wish you all the best in the election and hope to have our members in your area to help you get there.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, so I was hoping to get maybe a couple like maybe 5-second clips from everyone to kind of to share on maybe social medias, pending approval from you guys. So do you think you have like a quick like 5 to 10 second like pitch that you could just give us right now? If anything, just for practice, and then you can polish up later.
Sure. I mean, I'll try something on top of my head.
Yeah.
I have 10 plus years of financial experience in and public policy experience as well. I should can start over again if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
In over the last decade, I have a varied experience in both the financial and the public policy sectors. I've audited public entities. I did public policy research in both the public and private sectors, and now I account for a $2.3 billion endowment with my committed principles of preserving open space in Lower Macungie, having more transparent and accountable government in not just Lower Macungie, but throughout Pennsylvania. I look forward to working with the Forward Party, not just for in November, but for the in years coming up.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
Did anybody have any questions for Matt while we're talking to him? Rachel.
Yeah, I'll throw one out there. I was just curious if you could tell us a little bit about the current makeup of the Township Commission, like how many seats there are, what's the party makeup currently, and what the race is looking like.
Sure. So right now there are 5 members on the Board of Commissions. 3 are up for re-election, up here for election. 2 of the current members decided to run for re-election. The third member decided to step down. That's when members of the community asked me to run in his stead. Both those members and myself are Republicans. This year there's 3 Democrats challenging for the seat as well. So out of those 6 individuals, 3 would get in. Um, the township, there's a more Republicans registered than Democrats, but a lot of those Republicans are moderate Republicans. So historically, they are very independently minded, which is a very good thing. So they, depending on who's at the candidate, depends on the race, they could sway large degrees no matter what. So it is an open race, incredibly competitive. And because of that, we have already started knocking on doors. So
Sounds great. Keep us posted on how we can help.
I will do, and thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And share my screen again to move on to our next endorsement, who is Tommy Feldman.
So I was hoping to give a quick introduction, just to get things started. I think maybe it's good later on that Tommy Feldman, that's an easier last name, but I think it's good that people say their last name. So Tommy is current candidate for Delaware County Controller, upcoming 2025 election. He was born and raised in Delco, growing up in Chichester, where he attended K-12 public school system. After high school, he went on to study accounting at Cabrini University. It's right on the main line, very good school, where he earned his bachelor's in accounting and his master's in taxation. Post-graduation, Tommy served in public accounting, building a career across small, medium, large firms across the county. For the last 5 years, he was been at WIPFLI LLP, working as a senior tax accountant, while at WIPFLI, he has helped develop an international tax team, as well as worked primarily in the private client group. Outside of accounting, Tommy holds a real estate license, helped build a nonprofit called Piece by Piece for a group of orphan girls in Lusaka, Zambia. You might have to
Lusaka,
help me with
yeah.
that. Yeah, all right, cool. He prides himself in serving others and wants to help bring back affordability for the working and middle class in Delaware County. And without further ado, Tommy, and then maybe you should start off with I'm Tommy Feldman, something like that, and then kind of get into the description of why you're running.
Yeah, so thank you for the introduction. Again, thank you to the Forward Party for the endorsement. I appreciate it and share the view that the two-party system it's not working, especially for the working and middle class, which is the center focal point of not only Delaware County but my campaign. But a quick little, I'll do the quick little 10-second thing. I'm Tommy Feldman. I'm running for Delaware County Controller because our county is currently facing an affordability crisis for the working and middle class. Now more than ever, we need elected officials to put people over party. And that's why I'm thrilled to have the endorsement of the Forward Party for the 2025 election.
Awesome. We can pause shut up later, but it was good though. It was
Okay,
good.
cool. Thank you.
Did anybody have any questions for Tommy? Yes, Cynthia.
Yes, Tommy, I'm a Delco resident. I'm a moderate Republican, and I'm thrilled that you're running, and I'm thrilled that Forward has given you their endorsement.
Perfect. Thank you. I think I see you a lot at the you go to the county council meetings a lot.
I certainly do.
Yeah, lately I've been watching them from home, but I always see you speak, and I love that. I love when you go up there. So thank you for going up, and
Good luck.
thank you.
So when both of you are running as Forward Republicans, you're listed on the ballot as Republicans. Is that how it works?
Yeah, it would be on the actual ballot, it would say Republican, at least for my race.
Mine as well.
Uh-huh. So how did both of you get connected with Forward?
For me personally, I remember Andrew Yang kind of breaking off way back when and starting a new party. I've always been registered as a Republican, but over the years, watching like a Republican Congress in charge and then a Democrat Congress in charge and president, vice versa, I just always felt as if no one truly represents like the people, in my opinion. So I kind of once I listened to what this Forward Party was about, that's kind of how I got my following. And then when I decided to run for office, I wanted to reach out and try to get the endorsement because of the aligned values and so that's how I reached out and here I am. So yeah.
Good, good.
I could copy Tommy's answer too, but just to add to it, I think that the forward parties, especially pursuit of electoral reform, again, the two-party system's not working for, well, mostly anyone. It's working for those in charge, but not for the 99% of us. So I would say the commitment to electoral reform, having independent third-party voices is same path as Tommy followed, basically. So
If you guys get elected, how will you be received by your fellow Republicans that you have to work with?
I would say that at least at the local level, I think all the commissioners are committed to good governance. So I don't think being is not a dog eat dog world, at least in Lower Macungie. I think they're all committed to good governance, preserving open space. So I think that I work well with them, and if I'm elected, I'm excited to work with them. So
Yeah, and then sort of the same. I mean, right now Delco is under one party rule. So if there are some Republicans elected in this upcoming election, then I guess in terms of that question, I know them all personally at this point, so I think they would view me as me. And then in terms of the Democrats, they a lot of people don't know what party I belong to when I talk to voters, which I like. You know what I mean? Because truly, I'm more so moderate and independent, but I would I would work well with everyone and be perceived in that sense. I would hope, but yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Any more questions before we move on to our next endorsement? I'll take that as a no, and you did get a quick preview of it, but because I suck at uh, PowerPoint, but uh, this crack bill.
Would you like me to give a brief introduction like Robert did?
Yes.
I did not prepare a full rundown for biography, so I won't try. I'll leave that to Lisa, but I can tell you what excites me about Lisa as a candidate. Lisa is actually running as an independent forwardist. Don't get me wrong, we love our forward Republicans and forward Democrats. In many districts, running as a Republican or Democrat is a practical necessity. But Lisa is running for school board, which she will tell you is supposed to be nonpartisan. So it really excites me that she is able to run as an independent and that she is excited to carry the forwardist label along with that. Lisa is an author. She's an activist for children's health and well-being, particularly children with special needs. That's a key part of her biography and how she became politically independent. So with that, let me throw it to Lisa.
Hi, my name is Lisa Brackbill, and I am running for school board director for Dairy Township. And I wasn't really prepared to make a nice polished thing, but I'll try. My entire parenting journey has involved special needs to some degree. 10.5 years ago, our firstborn daughter was diagnosed with a rare terminal genetic disease that could have been treated if we had caught it at birth. So her diagnosis led me to actually change 2 laws in Pennsylvania, which was no small feat. And I changed 2 laws to strengthen our newborn screening program to protect the most vulnerable among us, because every child deserves access to treatment when their lives could be saved. So fast forward, and we have our twins, and 2 years ago they were diagnosed with moderate to severe hearing loss. So I've now been thrust into special needs parenting once again, but this now involves special education. And what I see right now on the federal level, not so much the state, thankfully, is that we have decision makers actively choosing to make it difficult to access the very things our children need to thrive. And it's often in the name of partisanship. The last 10 years actually drove me to become nonpartisan because I watched the dysfunction, and I watched I watched party be put before principle time and time again, even when it involved the lives of children. And now with the chaos at the federal level, special education funding is facing uncertainty. And I need to do what I can to make sure that my children and all of the children with special needs in our district are protected, and that their essential services are safeguarded. Most importantly, I believe in a free and fair education for every child, empowering teachers, and making data-driven decisions, not partisan ones. So I thank the Forward Party so much for this endorsement. This is absolutely where I belong.
Very good.
Any questions for Lisa? Cynthia?
Lisa, out of curiosity, did you run in the primary? And if so, did you run as a Democrat, Republican, or did you list as an independent?
For school board, you actually can file, you can cross file.
Right.
And so I did. Yeah, so I was able to get signatures from both parties to be on both ballots. However, that has been spun by some far right activists in our area. And that's been the only challenge I've encountered. Thankfully, honestly, the primary was easy. The four of us are running unopposed, so it shouldn't be, unless 0 people vote for me. It should be pretty safe, and I'm really relieved because it's just been a hard season over here. But yeah, so I am seeing the MAGA Republicans turn that against me. It is what it is. But yes, I did file for both.
Good
I
luck.
never heard of cross filing.
For nonpartisan positions, at least in Dauphin County, that's what we're allowed to do. Which it makes sense. Like, if you want to be in a nonpartisan position, both should be able to vote for you.
Huh.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Lisa?
I have a comment. I couldn't figure out how to put up my hand. My name's Ed Lawson. So yes, Lisa's correct. For school board in Pennsylvania, you have to either register Republican or Democrat or cross file on both of those. You can't run as an independent, and then get on the ballot that way. But I really appreciate you taking that time, because my passion has been over the last 4 to 5 years is trying to get these school boards straightened out in our area. We did flip the board in 2023 to get education back on the agenda. So I really appreciate it. And at some point, I would like to reach out to you about how you went about it and how you did things, because I'm looking at the next election cycle for a school board as well.
Sure, absolutely. I'm really relieved that we did not have any Moms for Liberty candidates this year. Last year we did, or 2 years ago we did. So here I think we'll be pretty safe from the extreme views.
Well, that's good. Our area is loaded with them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? I don't think our last candidate is here, so I'll be giving a short announcement in lieu of an interview with him. We endorsed Danny Kessler for Sheriff of Bucks County. He is running as a Ford Democrat. His values are matching our values align well, and he's trying to make that office less partisan. Yes, Rachel.
Oh, I can wait. I can wait if you're not done, or I can.
Oh, cool. I'll let you go.
Okay. Okay. So first, I was going to back up a second and just mention that Lisa is going to be on the National Women's Committee. She runs We Win Forum tomorrow night at 8:30. If anyone wants to join and hear about Lisa and some other women candidates running for office this cycle, I can get you that information, or you can go to the committee's page or the women's committee page on the national website. And maybe I can post that tomorrow on our social media as well. As far as Danny goes, I've been fortunate enough to speak with him a couple of times, and he is likely on his way to Pittsburgh, or the western portion of the state, where he has an event tomorrow at the Duquesne Club, I think. Ben, is that right? In your neck of the woods. I think it's, yeah, the Duquesne Club. So Danny is a military veteran and a lawyer. I did not prepare anything, but there's some stuff right there as far as his military career. And he also served, I had made a note in the Shapiro under public safety. I had written something, yeah, public safety in the Commonwealth and Shapiro administration. And like Ben had said, his goal is to focus on local issues and away from politically hot button issues in the role of Bucks County Sheriff. He joined with Forward, like his quote says, because he just wants to get things done, and believes that his principles and governance align with ours.
Did anybody have any questions about Danny? Yeah, Robert.
Was just hoping to add that our Attorney General candidate last year endorsed Danny Kessler. I guess they both know each other from the Shapiro administration. So Eric Settle, gives him a thumbs up. He's a lawyer, and even though I think he's very independent and forward aligned. Right now, he's aligning with the Democrats to get on the ballot. Seems tough. So sometimes you can't even choose which side. You just have to, go ahead and pick one to kind of try to fight the duopoly here. So, or monopoly, if it seems like it's kind of does seem like a monopoly in some respects. So
I'd like to know whether the parties that you chose to run under, how they feel about that. Attaching their party and plus Forward on their campaigning. Are they welcoming? Do they resist it? What's the reaction?
So Andrew Yang in his book Ford, he outlines a lot of ways that the Ford party can grow, and one of which is that people become Ford aligned Democrats or Ford aligned Republicans, and it seems like that's pretty much the only way a third party can grow in America, because without that kind of alignment with the traditional system, you just can't really get anywhere. So in this sense, you could kind of maybe you get rid of the noise, because there's so much noise from the I would say the national realm, and sometimes the rural, that sometimes it's good to just focus on what's local and what kind of really matters, which people generally say is what true like governance is, the important governance. So I think, yeah, it doesn't seem like a problem. And Rachel has her hand. She can.
Oh yeah, definitely good points, Robert. Well said. I was just going to add, and again, I don't want to speak for Danny, but on behalf of Danny, he did mention that if, we had been further along and Forward was the more viable party, he may have considered running as Forward. But, in reality, in a very purple county, it is a county-wide office. He ran and I believe he won the Democratic primary by quite a bit, and they're trying to build a coalition to unseat a Republican incumbent. So I think it's kind of a, practicality, as David said, like a necessary, I forget the word he used, a necessary practicality, I don't want to say by any means necessary, but by any reasonable coalition building means necessary is a step in the right direction. I don't know that we can skip all these steps and be, that's what other third parties have tried to do, just run a presidential candidate or skip the infrastructure or coalition building. So hopefully maybe we're on a more successful path this way.
Well, I'm not sure I understood, but what I was wondering is how I can understand our candidates choosing to affiliate with one of the, or the other parties. But I'm wondering how the parties themselves react to that.
Right, right. Again, I can only speak for Danny's case, but I think, they're trying to unseat a incumbent Republican. So if they can pull 10, 20% from the center left or center right to make that happen, I mean, he's a Democratic candidate. So however, we get across the finish line, but maybe the candidates can answer in their personal places, or maybe after they win, speak more to how they're received.
Well, I wish you all luck, very good luck. I hope you're successful.
And I'm probably going to find that out tomorrow when I I myself plan to be at this event. So I'm going to see how the uh, Democratic Party of Allegheny County feels about Fortis uh, in their midst tomorrow. Uh, David.
I thought I could share a personal story that might answer Norma's question. In my experience working with a forward party, I did some door knocking for, oh, the candidate's name is completely slipping my mind. Cameron Schroy. Cameron Schroy was running as a forward Democrat last year. And I showed up to a local Democrat office and I said, I'm here as a forwardist to member of the Forward Party to support Cameron Schroy because he has the Forward Party's endorsement, yada, yada. And what it boiled down to is they were happy that I was there to help. And I think that's what it is in a lot of cases. As long as you are supporting their candidate, you are an ally in that context. So um, it seems like they're not really interested to look that gift horse in the mouth. If you are there to support their candidate, they are happy for another thing that they can advertise about their candidate that will get people interested in voting for that candidate. One other personal story, backing up a little bit to when Cameron Troy announced, he announced in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, close to me. And I was surprised to run into a local Democrat politician that I know slightly. And I know that she is not excited about the Forward Party per se. I would definitely not consider her a supporter or enthusiast for the Forward Party. So I was surprised to see her there, but she was there to support Cameron Schroy because he was a forward Democrat. So it's a perfect example of how that forward endorsement can actually bring together people who might not be excited to support the Forward Party itself, but will appreciate when the Forward Party allies with one of their candidates. I'm hoping that that will make people in the major parties more inclined to look at that forward party endorsement as a stamp of quality on their candidates. Is this Democrat candidate or this Republican candidate someone who could earn the forward party's endorsement? What are the qualities of a good candidate that makes them worthy to earn the forward party's endorsement? My hope is that Democrats and Republicans will be more inclined to run candidates like that who can appeal to a voting bloc like us if they see that it earns those candidates our support.
Good answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now that this list is, we congratulate and support all the candidates we endorsed tonight. This list is an ongoing thing. We have other uh, candidates who are running for office as of Fortis here tonight, and we'll give them more time at the next meeting, if that's okay. And so I'll get back to this slideshow, and uh, our friend Christian told us about an event happening this Friday with the Democracy Collaborative. It's in State College, uh, Friday at 6 at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Center County. It's basically a presentation on uh, ending gerrymandering, and if you can make it, it's of relevance in the news right now. Uh, uh, Actually, Rachel, could you give us, speaking of news, could you, I, I know I said it the other way in the Slack, but could you give us an update on the open primaries legislation?
So as far as I know, there's no updates on the legislation, which is why there is a petition, right? Yeah. So there is, as most folks know, there's the Michael Sperkanish, David Thornburg, Jeffrey Doty, and myself as petitioners trying to seek the Pennsylvania Supreme Court something called a King's Bench petition to rule closed primaries is unconstitutional. So I don't want to belabor that whole case if you are not up on it. It's in the news. There's a lot of write-ups in there. That's basically the point, to rule it unconstitutional, which would then, one, skip the lower court process that can take so long, just go straight to the ultimate deciding, and it would save taxpayer money and time. And if we were to be successful, it would then go back to the legislature where they would need to craft some sort of plan and use the election code to open. There's many ways you can repeal closed primaries. Many states have different versions of that. So that was filed, I want to say, mid-July, July 11th, July 18th, something like that. And on August 1st, the state responded, gave their response to the court, obviously, not obviously actually, but in opposition of our petition, stating mostly that, this should be decided by the legislature. In fact, there's legislation in the works. Well, there's been legislation in the works for quite some time. And part of the argument, as you know, is that current legislators are disincentivized from, closed primaries is incumbent protection of a sort. So we've waited and waited. We even delayed filing this one because there was another, I think, that got out of one chamber. Ben can correct me if I'm misspeaking on that, but eventually it just seems like a dead end as far as getting the legislature to move on this. The other point they tried to counter with is that it's not an emergency enough, again, with skipping the lower courts and all those processes, that if we that they're urging the Supreme Court not to hear the case. If you follow the national Supreme Court or federal Supreme Court, it's like, I guess, akin to the emergency docket, something that skips ahead. So they're saying they shouldn't take the case because of that. They're also saying that if we were to be successful, there isn't a remedy that comes of that. They have to go back to the legislature anyway, back to their first point. But this does force the legislature then to make a move away from closed primaries. So that would still be a win. It cites that modernization of our electoral slates, and I think something called like a state something. It's having all the voters in one voter rolls and making sure no one's voting in more than one. Oh, it's so much work, we can't do it. So it's a lot of reasons why not instead of reasons why to, and modernizing the election system in Pennsylvania. They go off on a tangent, something about the First Amendment, but that, of course, this is the PA Constitution petition. So the First Amendment that they cite is not really relevant to the ask. And that's pretty much the update. But one thing, so that we're waiting, I think the lawyers for our side will file a response to the response, and they expect that either nothing will happen or sometime in September, the Supreme Court of PA, of course, will decide to hear it or not to hear it. And that's really, then it will go through the lower courts and wind its way through. So the last thing I wanted to just mention is I actually read the whole response. I don't know, Ben, if you read it, or Brian, I sent it, I think, to you guys and Robert, because we were talking about it, and I finally did sit down and read it. It's like 26 pages, and I got to the bottom, and it's signed by Dave Sunday, Attorney General of Pennsylvania. And I just wanted to close the loop to mention that we had a candidate for Attorney General, and I happened to speak to him, and we were far from winning. But had we won and Eric Settle had been the Attorney General, he told me that he would have filed a motion in support of our petition. So if you think some of these things are too small to matter, or we have too far to go, it's all connected, and every little thing that moves the needle, especially in such a 50-50 and polarized time, it really can matter. So that's my update. Cynthia?
Rachel, thank you. A couple of years ago, I spoke to my state representative who held a town hall meeting, and one of the issues was open primaries. And as you said, she said they were evaluating changes in the state house. And then she went on to say that she thought that there would be a better chance that ranked choice voting might be allowed. I was wondering if you've heard anything about ranked choice lately.
So the way I hear it, and Brian and Ben are also pretty well informed on this, is that this is like the lowest hanging, most achievable first step in Pennsylvania to getting all kinds of structural voting reforms, right? So we have closed primaries, one of only 8 or 9 or 14, depending what you read or how you determine what closed primaries are. So most, a vast majority, possibly 41 other states, don't have closed primaries in some form or another. So that seems like the first, that's what Ballot PA and Independent Pennsylvanians and Committee of 70 are working towards. That's the first rung. And once that, I think until they're not closed, I don't know that anything else is possible, but Ben, you may have a better answer.
Yeah, the right now the lowest, or on the ranked choice voting side, the lowest hanging fruit is probably enabling legislation to allow municipalities to conduct ranked choice voting local elections. But unfortunately, with the House and Senate as close as they are, and one party having one chamber and one party having the other chamber, it's unlikely any legislation on any topic really is going to get through there. Which is also the reason why Rachel is needing to sue the state.
Understood. Thank you.
All right. And as always, I want to remind people that there are national committees. Rachel is a prominent member of the Women's Committee, and there are Asian American and Pacific Islanders, Black voters, Hispanic, LGBTQ plus, veterans and their families, and the young forwardists. If you happen to be one or multiple members of those groups, uh, give them a check out and see if that is something you would like to put your efforts towards. Um, we are always in the search for counting leads. If you want to make your voice, make your county heard in the Ford Party more prominently, uh, contact the Pennsylvania email address to put your name forward as a county lead. As a county lead, you would help recruit our candidates and organize events and local signature drives and basically help build the movement at the local level. Uh, so we want to encourage people to do that. And always, uh, if you can, uh, can't go grow without resources. So please consider becoming a single uh, time donor, or even better, if you can uh, become a monthly donor. Yes, Joe.
Does the Pennsylvania Ford Party have like a wish list of candidates that we would like to put somebody forward as, or specifically, are you looking at trying to go for the governorship? Are you looking at candidates out there that you could grow and support that might be viable? Is there some kind of wish list that, hey, if you see somebody, let's encourage them to go for this particular office. I know you're advertising, for anything, but are you targeting anything here in Pennsylvania?
Yes, it does depend on the year, but the biggest target we have right now is actually up for election next year, and that's the PA House. And I'll get out of that. And yeah, the PA House right now is the General Assembly is composed of the PA Senate and the PA House. And the PA House is the lower body. And right now, the Democrats have a one-seat majority. And if we could get a single Fordist into office at that level, we could potentially prevent either party from achieving a majority.
Hmm.
And in that case, we could use that leverage to get some real movement on our priorities like open primaries, ranked choice voting, and the rest. But to do that, we need to win in at least one district, and we also need to and to win in one district, we need to have candidates in those races. And those races are very doable. You only need between 300 and 600 signatures at a minimum, but you have from mid-March until August 1st to collect all those signatures. So if you are thinking about running for PA House in a district that is heavily skewed to one party or the other, you actually have a better chance running as a Fordist instead of the out of party power. And in many of those cases, the out of party out out of power party, sorry, won't even field a candidate. It
Mhm.
got to the point where most of the time, half of all PA House races go uncontested in the general. And whoever wins the primary in the major party becomes the automatic winner, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Robert.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, and that's how the Ford Party. That's how we're doing things in Colorado and Utah, because I think Utah, you can't run as a Democrat. It's like almost impossible to win anything. So we're making a lot of inroads with Ford Party candidates, and I think in Pennsylvania, it's also important to have people on the local level at the smaller offices, just to kind of build a groundswell, if you will, just like a grassroots, instead of just trying to aim for the top of the state as governor. In order to do that, it's good to build the base first before you start trying to reach the upper echelons of elected office. So maybe a little bit of both, not just pull the new ones, but it is important. Both aspects are important. Yeah.
And in Pennsylvania, we benefit also from the fact that our local races are skewed so that they don't appear on the same ballot as the state and national races. So, like this year, we're in 2025, you will be voting on municipal races, and also in 2027. Uh, and then in 2028 and 2026 are also state and national races. Yes, Joe.
Okay, so are you, yeah, that makes perfect sense going for the House versus governorship. I was just, throwing that out there. But to reach that goals, is there a target date or a plan to do like town halls, like regional town halls or something to recruit candidates?
That would be up to a lot of the the local areas and uh, how this is precisely why we need counting leads, because we don't have uh, leaders in those regions, and it's kind of hard for me to conduct a town hall in from Pittsburgh in Philadelphia. So we need county leads to be the troops on the ground to hold those town halls and recruit those candidates.
And
Well,
if you
then,
were looking to set up like a town hall or a meeting like that, what kind of support would be reasonable to expect from the state level and possibly the national level, for town hall events?
Well, hopefully, if you're doing it at the local level, you would only need to rent a place, and those could be done very cheaply. And the party could possibly pay for that, which is why we need resources on the fundraising side to help us grow in that regard as well. So,
are there any seats opening
Thank you.
up that we know about?
in 2026, every PA house will be up for reelection. Uh, every seat there, and half the PA Senate, but we're really focused on the PA House because the signature requirements are lower, and they are and frankly it's just easier to get them, and they're more likely to be uncontested than in the PA Senate. Yes, Rachel.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, like, these are great, like, explanations and like background on how we're trying to approach. And again, it is a fast news cycle. It feels like so much has been happening, and we've been at this for a little while, but it's only been a couple of years. And when you tune into your first couple of calls, you're like, what are you guys doing? And what are you? And like, you, us, all of us on this call, like, we're still building local leaders, county leaders, trying to get our numbers up. And so, more hands, what is it? Many hands make lighter the work. So really, if you're excited about it, if you want to see us grow and make more headlines, get in the news, have more candidates, like, we certainly join a committee, help us out, you can hold something in your backyard through your network of people who you sometimes talk to and feel disenchanted with the status quo. National's really big on just having people over, and I think it's called like relational canvassing. So whether you have a candidate or you don't, you're looking for candidates, listen for opportunities to fight extremism. We don't want to put someone against an ally, right? Someone who is like supporting repealing open primaries or supporting ranked choice voting or supports independent redistricting committees, someone who supports our um, priorities. We certainly wouldn't want to go against them. And then you have to look at the likelihood of, a possible win versus like a 99 to 1% area. It's those purple districts or the unopposed races or someone who's really extreme on either side, where if we could find someone, again, because people in the community find someone and elevate them. So National does some scoping, for larger races, but, for these local races and even our state house seats, it's up to us. And I mean us, like all of us and all of our friends. So I hope that, tell your friends, have them join a call or just talk to them about it. And the other point I would make, I've made it on other calls, is that Pennsylvania really is a microcosm of the federal legislature, right? 50-50. We don't pass a lot of laws. We have a full-time legislature that's well paid, that passes like the least amount of legislation altogether. But if we could get that fulcrum, if we could get one or two or three or five, we would make national news constantly. Everyone would want to be a forwardist, and we'd show proof of concept that this can be done on a larger scale. So it is exciting, and it does take foot soldiers, and we're just happy all of you guys are on the call. So your ideas are the movement.
Brian.
Yeah, I second everything Rachel said, and yeah, you are the kind of people that are here on a Monday night on a political call. That's not that many people, right, that do that. So you're here. We have candidates. We heard from three great candidates tonight. Jessica, I know, is running for judge of elections. We heard from her last month, and several others that we have in the mix. And this is the time to get involved with these candidates that we heard from and support them and learn how campaigns are run. Like, we're endorsing major party candidates, and hopefully we can see how the support that they get from their parties and learn to duplicate that when we have forward party candidates on the ballot. And so just by getting involved, you learn how to support a candidate this time. Next year, if we have state house candidates, we'll have more experience on how to do that and how to talk to candidates and be taken seriously in these rooms. Follow your local politics is great too. Do you know who your mayor is, your city council? Obviously, it sounds like Cynthia is active in hers. Those are the kind of people that we want involved, because understanding your local politics is going to mean that you know the person that secretly wants to run for state house but doesn't think they can make it as a Republican or Democrat. So just having those relationships is going to make this all work. So yeah, I appreciate everyone that comes here and makes the decision to run for office themselves. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Back to the stream. Talk about that. Our next meeting will be on Monday, September 15th, at 8 p.m. If you like what we've done here right tonight and want to see us grow, please join us then. You're all welcome. Now for open floor.
Are we sure it's the 15th? I thought we bumped it back, or is that a mistake?
That might be the leadership call.
Ah, gotcha. All right. Thank
Because
you,
the
man.
leadership call is scheduled for the day after Labor Day, and I'm not sure all the leadership is going to be uh, ready for that. I know that I went on vacation this past weekend and I have a sunburn that's killing my back.
Ooh, ooh.
Good for you for getting out.
Yeah. So, do we have any questions, comments, concerns, open floor discussion from anybody?
Is anyone going to the Labor Day Danny Kessler thing? What is it, Bucks County or something?
Yeah, there's it's a fundraiser, so it's $50 per ticket. It's a concert. It's like a rock the vote type of thing. It's at is it the Broken Goblet? Sorry, Broken Goblet in Bensalem, Bucks County. So that has been posted on our social medias. I believe it may have been in the newsletter. There should be an email to folks out here in the eastern portion. I don't have a link handy to throw in the chat. So he has an event tomorrow in the western portion of the state, free event, kind of a meet and greet. And then, yeah, on Labor Day itself, the Monday the 1st, there is a fundraiser. It sounds really fun. It's from, I think, 1 to 5 in the afternoon. And I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to talk to my husband, but so it should be fun. I was also going to just mention, so we do try to keep it consistent with the third Monday of the month. And so September is one of those wonky Mondays, the 1st. So it will seem early next month that this meeting will occur on the 15th, 1/8/15. So it's usually the 20 something. Like today, it's the 18th though. So
Cynthia.
Yeah.
Are you currently evaluating other candidates for PA offices who are interested in running as Fortis?
Yes, we are. A couple for this year, and we I think he left, but we have already started the process for somebody in 2026 for a PA House race.
Wonderful.
So
Yeah, Robert Grable was here for that, fortunately.
yes,
Oh well.
yeah. So hopefully we can get recruit a few more candidates for that, as many as we can, so that if we only have one candidate, we're probably gonna, they can all focus on all their resources on that one guy, but we don't want that. We want them to have to spread their resources out and actually compete in an election for once, and hopefully get our fulcrum. Did anybody else have any open floor items they would like to discuss?
About there's a Fulcrum pack. Do we have you heard from them for a little? They were
We're
out
not
last
allowed,
year, right?
we're not allowed to coordinate with them.
Ah,
They're an independent political action committee, and we are, in fact, I don't know who's running that myself at the moment.
I think yeah.
So
After an X amount of spending, you can't coordinate with certain packs. So good call. Yeah.
Ben,
yeah,
do you know the number or the name? I know, like, oh my God, sorry. Robert mentioned Jessica, who is running for Inspector of Elections, which is similar to Judge of Elections, depending on your municipality. I think we have a couple more, and some of them are running as forward. I think Stephen Goodsell. I'm not sure if he's on this call. Ben, do you have a small list, or off the top of your head, do you know of any other Judge of Elections folks we have for this time around?
off the top of my head, because I wanted to swing back around and see if they uh, followed through on getting the signatures and submitting their paperwork, and uh, due to what
Those
has
two
been,
are certain, I think. Those two are for
yeah.
certain. So more on
I,
them.
and I don't want to say somebody is running and then have to turn around and say, unfortunately, they did not either.
Yeah, sure, sure. So we'll make sure to share those municipalities in case anybody on this call or people you know can vote for them, because you really do have to live like in their district or ward. But we still want to show our support and publicize them.
Yes, David.
Thank you. I just wanted to mention if, excuse me, if any of you happen to know even slightly a local candidate that you think has a forwardist mindset, it's always worth suggesting to them that they might want to check the party out and seek its endorsement. One of the people that we're evaluating for endorsement currently sought out the Forward Party's endorsement after I had a chance conversation with him at a local candidate forum. The opportunity was there. I talked to them a little bit about the party. I followed up a little bit later, but with a message through his social media, and he did actually end up seeking our endorsement. So sometimes those little conversations actually do go somewhere. Don't hesitate to put that thought in someone's head if you know someone who's running and you think that they fit the Forward Party mold. And I shouldn't even call it a Forward Party mold because there is so much diversity in our party. But if there's any doubt about what it means to be a forwardist, just Google Forward Party Pledge. I'm going to put the link to that in the chat. But if you just Google Forward Party Pledge, you'll find it very easily, and it lays out very succinctly what makes a forwardist candidate. If there's any doubt in your mind about whether the person that you're recommending to consider the Forward Party fits that set of ideals, just take a look at the pledge and then have them take a look at the pledge and see if that also fits how they think of themselves and how they would want to conduct themselves in office. And if it does, we found another forwardist.
So I actually did that last weekend. So the a school board candidate came just door knocking, and we were having a conversation. And she had, I think, when she found out a little bit more about me, she mentioned that she was an independent and had actually just registered as a Democrat, to be able to run, and that they would give her, kind of the latitude that she needed. But she seemed very solutions focused and like forward mindset. So I described a little bit about forward. I'm not sure if I did a great elevator pitch on it, but I did tell her that I was running too, and she seemed interested. So she like wrote it down and said she'd look into it. I wasn't sure if we were still doing endorsements. But I mentioned that Danny Sessler had an endorsement, and she knew him and so forth. So if you want, I could follow up with her since we had a personal conversation and just, see if it's something she's interested in pursuing. But I can, from a mindset perspective, she did seem very aligned.
Yeah, the only thing about endorsements for this year, if they haven't got into the system real within like the next week or two, we are going to be, it does take time for us to
Right.
get through the system because it not only do we have to vet them, National has to vet them as well, and National has a tendency to be slower than us because they are dealing with 50 different states and have 50 different organizations trying to get their attention for their candidates all at the same time. So we do kind of try to limit any new endorsements uh, entering the system to try to apply by early September. Uh, Probably nothing after mid-September is the drop dead date for brand new endorsements. Uh, Brian.
Yeah, first of all, I love that. If someone knocks on your door to talk about their issue, just turn it around and talk to them about your issue. That's a great way to recruit door knockers too. Um, but I just wanted to mention somebody mentioned redistricting earlier with Texas and California all in the news. This is a big issue that we've been talking about for a long time. It's in one of our top three, election reforms that we'd like to see passed is redistricting reform. And our friends at Fair Districts have been doing a great job for years. We built a partnership with them. And I think this would be a great time to really support them. They're keeping on their message. They've been talking about this for a long time. And even people that I'm friends with and generally agree with, I hear them, saying, well, if the Republicans are going to gerrymander, California, the Democrats need to gerrymander. And you have to make the point, like, no, this hurts everybody. So let's try and get that message out there and keep the like one
Well,
side versus the other side out of the conversation. And if and Fair Districts PA on their website, they are working tons of events right now. I can't even share them all in the newsletter because there's just every day more events. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you look at that link, you'll probably find an event in your area in the next week or two. And
Brian, are
yeah,
you going
check
to
them out and
mention what
support
Fair
them.
District is doing about the petitioning, trying to get change in the Constitution?
Well, that's their long-term goal. Is there recent news on it, Nora? I'd love to hear it.
Well, right now we're going around with petitions to have people sign, going out to um, uh, public garden areas and asking voters to sign that they're in favor of uh, changing the Constitution so that an independent, so that the commission that draws the voting district lines is nonpartisan and free of the kind of stuff that's going on in Texas. And so that's a very active campaign right now with Fair Districts. So
So
I
yeah,
think we should
that's
support
great
them.
context. Maybe that's why they're having so many events.
Excuse me?
Because
I
yeah, maybe
didn't,
that's why they're holding so many events. But just like I'm saying, on their website, you can see all these events. Maybe look them up and go sign their petition at your local fair
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
local event. That'd be great. Tell
Yeah,
them we sent you.
we're going to a lot of parks and things like that, and with the petitions that people can sign. And there's a lot of support already in the state legislature. I mean, a lot of the legislators are co-sponsoring it. So but it's something that has to be passed 2 years in a row in order to change the state constitution.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Got it.
Did anybody have any other issues or wanted to comment on Norma's item? Ready? And with that, uh,
May
we'll
I just throw in briefly, even if you don't have time to do anything else, please follow organizations like Fair Districts PA, which is fighting for independent redistricting to oppose gerrymandering, and Ballot PA, which is, oh wait, I might be getting my organizations confused. Someone please double check me. What does Ballot PA fight for?
open
Open
primaries.
Thank you. Okay, I second guessed myself. I was worried I had it wrong. So there are all of these wonderful activist organizations, some of them specifically in PA, that are fighting for things that the Forward Party also wants. So at the very least, please look them up on Facebook, sign up for their mailing lists, like their posts, because even though they aren't affiliated with us, we do consider them allies. Their goals
Yes.
are in many cases our goals. So
Yes.
please at least follow them on social media, if nothing else.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe to their stuff, to our stuff. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this video if you're watching it. And if nobody has anything else, I guess we can see you again next time. Not left, not right, forward.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice to meet everyone.
Same here.
See y'all soon. Bye.